Okay. This is gonna help
It's
people.
gonna be okay.
It is.
It's gonna be okay.
I'm just about to get super vulnerable. These are soothing, Mended light. All right, welcome to our new series. It's called Marriage Problems. We have discovered...
Do you have marriage problems?
Yes.
What? Get out of here.
Not as many as you have being married to me. Oh. Here's the thing. We have discovered that being vulnerable and real is our greatest superpower. You've said as much in the comments. That's why a lot of you join us. We're going to take a big step further into that today because what you see on camera is very real. We have a lot of genuine affection for each other. We have a very good friendship. We've had a lot of struggles in our marriage, and we've had a lot of struggles as partners in a business together. And I would... wah, wah. Our friendship is what has helped us to weather struggles in both of those arenas. But we have had a lot of conversations about this, and we feel our whole purpose is to help. And reality trumps pretend perfection every time. And so in
Did you pretend?
No. No, I'm just saying, like, when people show up on YouTube and they're like, look how great our life is, and look how close our marriage is, and look at...
With the Instagram life, what's it called? What's the...
I think it's just hashtag Instagram life.
Yeah.
Or Insta life, or...
That's total BS.
Yeah.
Nobody has a life that looks like that.
And so we're going to be very raw and real and open about the things that we struggle with out of hopes that it will help those of you who are watching who are going through similar struggles, or even just giving you the courage to be real in your lives as well. And the reason Alicia was comforting me out of the start is because I take responsibility for a lot of the struggles. It was a maturity issue on my part. We're going to go into a lot of that. And it's scary for me because I'm here, I'm on cinema therapy, people know me, and I don't want it, but people, you get put on a pedestal.
Right.
And then there's like, and so in my opinion, sooner or later, you come off the pedestal either because you fall down or get knocked down, or you electively take yourself off the pedestal, which is what I'm going to do.
You keep climbing down from that pedestal.
Stop putting me up there. I'm going to keep climbing down.
Yeah.
I am very much who I seem to be on these videos.
Well,
like that's...
Yeah, it's a dimension. Like it's a dimension, it's a perspective, but it's not the only dimension to that.
There are layers.
Yeah.
Onions, ogres, Jono. We got layers. You get it.
Ogres have layers. Onions have layers. You get it. We both have layers.
But and you as well, like,
Right.
Because it's not just me. Like, you're going to be talking about your struggles. You're going to be talking
absolutely.
about, your flaws, your weaknesses, and
there is absolutely a component of perceived perfectionism, some of which I'm still working through. That is not at all the vibe I intend to give off.
Yeah.
But I get asked that a lot of times, like, how are you so perfect?
yeah.
Women, men older than me, my children, my teenage daughter currently says, well, Mom, not everybody can be perfect like you. And I say, I'm not perfect, and I never pretended to be. And she's like, but it's like you practically are. Like, you just do everything better.
Like Mary Poppins.
It's practically perfect in every way.
Yeah, it's not true. Like, I just try to be the best version of me.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it was at about the time that this happened multiple times where people were interacting with us and we were just talking about our life, and we talked about, well, we had this fight about this, that, or the other, and people always say the same thing, which is,
Do you fight?
like, you guys fight? And we're like, oh yes.
Oh, we fight.
Oh, we fight. And then we realize, like, oh, if people are surprised, then maybe we need to step even further into authenticity, right? So let's dive in.
I am so scared.
And not to be sensational, but to be real and supportive.
Right, no. And also, like, this is also not airing out all of our dirty laundry. Like, anything that we talk about is stuff that we've agreed upon. Mm-hmm. This is what we're going to talk about, and are you comfortable if I talk about this, that, or the other? Because, we don't want to burn bridges with each other for the sake of YouTube. Like, that's not...
I'm a totally attention-seeking.
No, like honestly, I'm the attention-seeking one. Look at
Yes.
me! I really okay. So without any further ado, we're gonna launch into this
So this
series
is a multi-video series.
because
The struggle is real.
the struggle is real. You cannot get more different.
Yeah, we're completely opposite personalities, and then on top of that, we have some pretty strong gender role reversals, and not pretty, so like they are completely and
What you would traditionally associate with a woman or a man.
Yeah.
You're the man. I'm the woman.
yeah, and then we're opposite, and our friends think it's hilarious.
And we do on occasion.
Those are manly tears, okay?
So let's talk a little bit about personality types. We have a full course on this on our membership site where you can deep dive into it. A link for that is below, or you can just go to mendedlight.com and learn about it. But there are 4 in our very simple, straightforward, but I feel like all-inclusive: dreamers, healers, thinkers, and closers. A dreamer is somebody who's very energetic, fun-seeking, loves adventure, has all sorts of ideas. The reason they're called dreamers is because they just have a nonstop flow of creative energy.
Everything's a possibility, just in case you're wondering.
Everything's a possibility, and we love dreamers because they tend to be the life of the party, and they cheer people up with humor, right? The flip side of a dreamer, the struggle with a dreamer, is they have a hard time with details, they have a hard time with attention, and they have a hard time with follow-through.
When you say attention, focusing,
With focusing.
Yeah.
Well, focusing on things
and
that
then
don't...
they also want a lot of attention.
They... True. Guilty as charged. And then they have a hard time with follow-through. The biggest reason is because they love fun so much. They can work hard as long as it's fun for them or as long as they're engaged with it. It's a reason why dreamers thrive in the arts.
Yeah.
The fact is, the arts, creative arts, is a lot of work. But for a dreamer, they're constantly engaged with
fun.
it, and it's not boring, and so they can do the hard work. Ask them to file their taxes and watch what happens.
Yes, big eyes, very big, because they are full of wonder.
Well, and dreamers are the most childlike personality. Not childish,
Right.
but childlike, because of that fun-loving, exuberant, bubbly life of the party. And everybody loves a dreamer.
People who retain their sense of wonder,
Yeah.
right? Even into adulthood, those are your dreamers. And then healers are people who are compassionate, who are empathetic, who value relationships and the comfort of others, comforting others, helping others, and also just making sure, like, did you get enough to eat? Are you warm? Can I get you a glass of water?
They're like the quintessential mother.
Yeah.
Most often we associate them as females, but there are plenty of male healers out there.
Yeah. And obviously, if we get into non-binary or trans people, like there's a whole host of, but the personality we so strongly associate with women. And we love healers because they take care of us and they make us feel loved. And they're the shoulder to cry on. They're so non-judgmental. The flip side of a healer is they're very sensitive. They get their feelings hurt more easily than anybody else. A healer will get walked on. They'll forgive and they'll forgive and they'll forgive until the point that they snap. And then generally they're the ones who hold the worst grudges.
Yeah.
Right. And they forgive. They're way too forgiving until they're not. And then they don't forgive.
Hell hath no fury like a healer scorned.
Like a healer scorned is exactly right.
Me, I shall never forgive you! How could you say such a thing?
Also can struggle with tasks and follow through because they're so relationship and people oriented.
Yeah. And
Go ahead.
so comfort is a big deal.
Comforting others, but also being comfortable.
Yeah, being comfortable. And so they will plan so many things all to maintain their sense of comfort or make sure they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And doing new things is scary.
Doing new things is terrifying. So
Yeah.
dreamer, healer, those are my dominant 2 personalities. I am both of those.
Dreamers are your extroverted, relationship-focused personality type.
Yeah.
And healers are your introverted, relationship-focused personality type.
Right. So a person who loves to go to parties and loves to get out and have fun, and that's your dreamer, that's your extrovert. And then the healer would prefer to stay home, have a pajama party, have a few friends over for a small intimate gathering, and really just be there for each other. But I am both of those things.
He is a relationship-focused person.
Which dreamer healer, so you watch me on these YouTube channels and loves entertainment, loves to be entertained, loves to comfort and help people. You see here on YouTube, you see the very best of me.
Yeah.
What you don't see is
I meant, yeah, as in like you are who you, like it's not a front for the camera.
No.
You are genuinely that person.
it's just what I'm showing the world is the best parts of me. And now with this series, you're going to see the me that struggles with focus, that struggles with follow through, that struggles with overcommitting or being so optimistic that I can accomplish something that I say I can do something and then I let people down. You're going to see the person who gets offended and hurt by things that were not intended to be offensive and hurtful.
You will always be my delicate little flower.
Yeah, we were going to get to the delicate little flower.
We'll tell that story in a minute.
Planting a seed, yeah. So that's me. Let's talk about the other side of the coin.
Yeah. So a closer, right? That it is predominantly seen as a male personality type, but they are your achievers, your doers. They get it done.
No matter what, no excuses.
No matter what. No matter what. And if there's a
Dreamers
reason,
are all excuses.
and so if you want something done, like no matter what, you give it to a closer and they will figure out and they will find a way.
They would have found their way. I've never lost a fight.
Yeah.
And they love achievement. They love accomplishment. They love building and creating. And closers need a mountain to climb. And if they don't have a mountain to climb, they will create one. And so, especially like in children who don't feel like they have enough autonomy over their life,
Yeah.
like they will create contention through teasing their siblings or doing whatever.
We have a closer son.
Well, we have lots of closer children.
Yeah.
And I have a closer parent, and my mom used to say, like, he just has so much energy. But he got into running when I was a kid, and she's like, as long as he runs every single day, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, if you have a person in your life that needs to run 3 to 5 miles to like bring their energy level down, they could be a closer.
Yeah.
Right? And so closers they have a lot of energy, it's a push forward energy, and they need somewhere to channel that.
And we love them because they're reliable. If they say they're going to do something, and this is something that I love about you, if you
Yeah.
say you're going to do something, you get it done.
Yeah.
And much to my amazement, because as somebody who's just like, well, it's 8 o'clock, time to tap out, you will just go until the
I will
task is done.
just keep going.
I don't know what you gotta do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming.
The flip side of closers, they are not very patient. They can sometimes they lack empathy, and we're going to talk about these personality types, and every personality type, there is a spectrum of that personality type. And I like to call it a spectrum of maturity, and it has nothing to do with age. It has more to do with emotional maturity, or you could even call it emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Right? And so closers have a tendency to not be very patient, not be very understanding. If you are giving a closer a reason for not getting something done, they're going to see it as an excuse. Mm-hmm. What other things are challenging about a closer?
They're blunt. They speak their mind sometimes without much tact. They can be bulldozers. And they're great at teamwork as long as the team can keep up. If the team can't keep up, the closer is more prone to just say, get out of my way, I will just get it done. And sometimes they will burn bridges in relationships because they're so task focused, right?
Yeah. And so accomplishing the task is more important than nurturing the relationship.
Right.
And so closers and healers in particular rub each other the wrong way.
A closer is going to see a healer as being too sensitive, and a healer is going to see a closer as just being a jerk.
Well, and you mentioned that closers can bulldoze.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that outside people often don't see about a closer is closers can bulldoze themselves. They can push themselves too hard.
Yeah.
And if you get in a more closer relationship with one, and you're not one, you can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
So wrapping up with closers and on to our last one is thinkers. So thinkers, we love thinkers. They value logic. They value order. They have a plan for everything. If you have someone in your life that actually reads the instruction manuals,
Yeah,
That
like cover to
is-
cover.
That is a thinker, right? There is a logical way to do something. And if you try to do it in an illogical way, they will say, what is wrong with you? Are you stupid?
Well, and it's important to recognize that a thinker, because they value logic, they will see that there is the one right way to do things.
Right.
And part of your journey that we'll get into a little bit later is if someone values something else, then what they're doing is the logical path. Like a healer is going to values relationships, so they're gonna manage a situation differently.
Right.
And to a thinker, it's gonna be like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Right. It doesn't make any sense because we're trying to do the most logical, efficient. Thinkers are very efficient.
Look, you just showed me.
They're trying to do the logical, efficient thing.
Yeah.
And so thinkers are very black and white, very right and wrong.
Yeah.
And they can also come off as emotionally cold,
Yeah.
unintentionally.
And they also can come across as know-it-alls. Like Hermione in Harry Potter is a perfect example of a thinker character, where they'll see a problem, they'll try and help somebody with the problem by saying, here's a solution. And if the person is closed to that, it's going to come across as, you think I'm stupid? Like I can't solve this for myself? And thinkers tend to be, they value feeling respected and feeling heard especially. Sorry, a weakness of a thinker is analysis paralysis. Like unless something can be perfect, they're not going to move forward and get it
They will
done.
evaluate and evaluate.
Yeah, and recalibrate and recalibrate.
Yeah.
So in our relationship, we have someone who values comfort versus someone who values mountains to climb.
Comfort and relationships.
Comfort and relationships, mountains to climb, tasks, having fun, and sometimes cutting corners to get to the fun or not thinking things all the way through. Someone who is incredibly meticulous about thinking things through. Alicia, why do divorces happen?
Think.
So and the first time I heard this didn't come from me, but it so resonated with me. Someone asked, what is the only reason people get divorced? And I was like, what are you talking about? People get divorced for so many reasons. But the only reason people get divorced is because unmet expectations.
Yeah. And if you think about any reason people divorce, infidelity, abuse, like big things like that, to just what we call irreconcilable differences, it all comes down
to unmet expectations.
And what a dreamer or a healer would expect from a relationship and what a closer and a thinker would expect from a relationship are two wildly different things. And
their needs. So what we value is innately different.
Yeah.
So we've talked about these personality types, and everybody typically has a dominant and a secondary, and sometimes they can be really close. And sometimes people can be split between three, but typically there's a dominant and a secondary. And if you think like of the Myers-Briggs personality type, it's built on 4 personality types, just in different orders.
Right.
And so we have all 4 within ourselves, but we have our nature, which is usually a dominant and a secondary, and then we have nurture, which is the environment which we grew up in.
Yeah.
And these all based on our values, which then are our needs, and then based on the environment we grew up in, we have expectations that we didn't even realize we have, that we bring to a marriage, and we're like, all right, let's mesh this. And how do you mesh opposites?
Well, and that's the thing, because most people overlap in at least one of either their dominant or secondary, like
in some way.
A closer healer marries a dreamer healer, right? Or a thinker dreamer marries a thinker closer, but they have something in common. And in our case,
there's very little in common.
So this video is really setting the stage. We're going to address our own struggles in our next video, which is, should we have even gotten married?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Should we have gotten married? So we're going to be getting very raw and real and vulnerable here with you. It's just like BDSM, as long as everyone feels safe.
My safe word is no.
My safe word is stop. And we invite you to check out this entire series of videos as they roll out. What do you think of the personality types that we've talked about here? Have you seen that cropping up in your life? What would you identify as dreamer, healer, closer, thinker? And what challenges have you experienced in understanding a partner who is completely different than you?
It's challenging. And until next time, remember to keep shining. We need your light.